Rachel.
I'm Robert.
And you're watching R&R with One-to-One. So, Robert,
Yeah?
do you know what today is?
I'm afraid to answer that question.
Today is the day that you get to fulfill your promise that you made to teach everybody how to build a database.
No, that I can do. So there are a lot of different types of database applications out there, but since we've been teaching you guys how to do a lot of things in the Microsoft Office suite, I'm going to go ahead and continue that, and I'll show you how to build one in Microsoft Access. So let's check it out. Okay, so here we are in Microsoft Access, and to familiarize you guys with how to use this, we're going to create a database. We're going to build some relationships between multiple tables. So on this screen, we just want to click Create a Blank Database. And when you create that blank database, you're also going to create the first blank table within it. Now, there are several ways to enter data into your database, but today we're going to focus on tables. And we can either manually enter data into the table ourselves, or we can import existing data, which I'll do now so we can speed up the process. We don't need this blank table, so let's go ahead and close it. Then we'll go up to the External Data tab and select the type of data that we're trying to import from. In this example, I'll be importing data from an Excel spreadsheet, so I'll select Excel. Next, it wants to know where that file is located, so we can either browse to it or enter the location. Then it wants to know how and where you want to store the data once it's imported. In this example, we're going to select the first choice and just add the data to a new table. You should see the Import Spreadsheet wizard pop up. That first step in the wizard asks if you want to use the column headings in your Excel spreadsheet as a field names for your table. You can see in my example that it's showing me what that's going to look like, and obviously that'll work great for the type of spreadsheet I'm importing. There are my customer IDs, names, and so on, so I'll go ahead and click Next. Here it gives you options if you want to specify the type of data in the fields. As well, it will give you an option to skip certain fields if you only want some of the data to be imported from your spreadsheet. Normally I'm happy with the defaults, but I do want to indicate that these customer IDs are unique, so in the indexed field, I will select Yes, no duplicates, and click Next. Here it will ask you about adding a primary key. That is a unique identifier which will help you retrieve data more quickly when using certain aspects of Access, and it's important when you're building relationships between tables. Your choices are to let Access add a primary key itself, to select your own primary key, or not to have one at all. Like I mentioned before, my customer IDs are unique, so we'll use that for the primary key. Lastly, it's letting me know that the table is going to be called the same name as the Excel sheet I'm importing, and that's fine for now, so I'll click Finish. You might see the wizard ask if you want to save the import steps you just took for the other future imports. That's not necessary for our example, so we'll just close that out. So now you see the data that you imported from the spreadsheet, which is now in table format. We want to import another spreadsheet so that our database has multiple tables. So let's repeat the steps we just completed. Now that we have two tables, one for customer data and one for order data, we want to create a relationship between them. To do that, go up to the Database Tools tab and click the Relationships button. This will open a new window with a list of tables in the database. Add the tables you want to build a relationship for and click Close. Now you'll see the fields of each table, and you can see here my order data that one of the fields is called Customer ID. That same Customer ID exists in my other table, and it's a primary key. So I can drag that over to create a relationship between the two tables. When I do that, the Edit Relationship window pops up, and you can select the correct fields. What we'll also want to do here is check the box for Enforce Referential Integrity. Also, Cascade Update related fields and Cascade Delete related records. What that does is ensure that any time records are updated in the customer data table, it makes sure the same updates are happening in the order data table as well. So the two tables are sharing data and they update each other simultaneously. If we didn't do that, one table could be updated. Let's say a record would get deleted, and the other table wouldn't know that. And we'd have what's called orphan data in our table, and that can cause problems and confusion when looking at your data later. Lastly, you'll see the relationship type is one-to-many. That means that there will only ever be one record for a customer, but there will be many orders for each customer. So we'll go ahead and click Create, and then we'll see the new relationship added to the database. In order to save the relationship we just built, click the Close button, and Access will ask us if we want to save the changes, and of course we'll click Yes. So now the tables are linked together and Access understands which pieces of data interrelate. If you want to save and name the database you're creating, go ahead and click File, Save As, stick with the default type of database, select where you want to save it, and then give this database a name. So that's how you would set up a database, add data to it, and then set up relationships using Microsoft Access. But we should really also talk about how to set up queries, forms, and do reports.
But that's all the time that we have for today, so you'll just have to stay tuned in another episode to watch those subjects and more. So thank you for watching R&R with One to One.
Stay curious.